Good day to each and everyone, most especially to Dr. Manuel Romancer. I am Gleir Damo, and today I will be discussing the two learning and thinking styles, which are the impulsive and reflective learning styles. To move forward in knowing these learning styles, let us define and understand first what is a learning style. A learning style is the way that different students learn. It refers to an individual's preferred way to absorb, process, comprehend, and retain information. So by understanding particular learning style, you can better understand the strengths and limitations. So it is also possible for people to work in ways fit their type, which benefits their performance since we all absorb and retain information in different ways. Now, some people understand information better when it is presented verbally, others when it is presented through pictures, while others prefer to read and write to retain information. So accordingly, teachers who know the different types of learning styles can use them to improve students' experiences and outcomes. So if you know your students and ways they learn, you can adapt your teaching styles to suit them better. Now let's move on to what is reflective learning style and implying this style in a reflective learner. So it is defined as a process of learning using conscious, intentional reflection, and it makes learning a more conscious process. It also involves observing and auditing the level of information comprehension while learning. So it may actively monitor and assess knowledge, abilities, and performance during the learning process in order to improve the process and its associated outcomes. So it is a learning style that emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and self-awareness. It involves examining one's own experiences, thoughts, and feelings to gain a deeper understanding of oneself and the world around them. So reflective learning can aid learners in synthesizing new information, and it is often used to improve reading comprehension, writing performance, and self-esteem through self-examination. And it can also help students become more aware of their weaknesses or errors and help them avoid them in the future. So who are the reflective learners? So people who focuses on own patterns, habits, preferences, and goals as learners. They make learning a more conscious process by asking questions and thinking critically about their own ideas and identify areas for improvement. So, reflective learners is an active learner. So, reflective learners prefer to listen to information and concepts and then gain understanding by thinking about it quietly. They also tend to like work alone where they can think through concepts. And while lecture-style classes can be painful for everyone, reflective learners do much better in them than active learners. So these are the characteristics, or these are the sample of using reflective learning. Students taking a difficult course can ask themselves which parts of the material they struggle with and why, in order to figure out what they should be focusing on and how they can modify their learning to make it more effective. Another, a basketball player who prepares for a game by asking which parts of the game he's struggling with and what strategies he can use to improve. Another examples on self-assessment. Learners often assess their own performances and identify areas for improvement. They may ask themselves questions such as, what did I do well and what could I have done better? Another, classroom observations. Reflective learners may observe other teachers or students to gain insights into different teaching styles and learning strategies. Next is consideration of student evaluations. Reflective learners may review student evaluations to identify areas where they can improve their teaching. Exploration of educational research. Reflective learners may read educational research to gain insights into effective teaching practices. Taking notes on your own teaching practice. Reflective learners may take notes on their own teaching practice to identify areas where they can improve. Also reading about how to improve their self. And asking for feedback from your students to achieve self-improvement. Reflective learners may ask their students to feedback their teaching practice to identify where they can improve. So by reflecting on their experiences, reflective learners can gain insights into their own teaching practice and improve their performance over time. So these are the characteristics of reflective learners. They tend to solve problems slowly but accurately. So they take their time to fully consider all the available information before making a decision. They are motivated and know what they are trying to achieve and why. They are proactive in extending their understanding on new topics and subjects. Also, they use their existing knowledge to help develop their understanding of new ideas. Another thing is they understand new concepts by relating them to their previous experiences. They understand what additional research and reading improves their understanding. So they develop their learning and thinking by building on the critical evaluation of their previous learning experiences. And the last one is they are self-aware, able to identify, explain, and address their strengths and weaknesses. So let's move on to the benefits of reflective learning. It can help you assess your situation. For example, by prompting you to identify gaps in your knowledge and areas where you need to improve. It can help you figure out how to improve your learning process. For example, by prompting you to figure out which learning techniques work well for you and which ones don't. It can help you understand yourself better. For example, by prompting you to consider what kind of assignments or information you struggle with the most. It can help you develop your general metacognitive skills by training you to think critically about how you learn. Well, it can increase your feelings of autonomy and control by making you feel that you're actively in charge of your learning process. Next, it can increase your motivation to learn by making you feel more in control of the learning process and by making that process more deliberate and effective. Last one is that it can improve your learning outcomes. So both directly by helping you modify the learning process as well as indirectly. So through the other benefits that it offers, such as for your increased motivation. So being reflective in your learning means thinking about what you're learning and how you're learning it in a way that helps you understand yourself and your learning better. So how your thinking grows and develops over time. It will assist with making connections between what you already know and what you are learning and help you learn from mistakes by identifying how you would do things differently next time. Okay, so another thinking style is the impulsive learning. Impulsive learning is a learning style that involves quick decision making and taking action without much forethought. It is often associated with impulsive behavior, which is characterized actions that are poorly conceived, prematurely expressed, and necessarily risky and inappropriate to the situation. Impulsive learners tend to be hot-headed, rash, unpredictable, and unstable. So in the context of education, impulsive learning can be a challenge for both students and teachers, since impulsive students may struggle to focus on tasks and may be easily distracted. So teacher can help impulsive students by monitoring them to identify impulsive behavior, encouraging them to take their time to think through their answers before they respond, and modeling the reflective style as a teacher. So who are impulsive learners? So they solve problems fast but inaccurately. So they do things suddenly without planning or thinking carefully, but because they want to. So again, people who are impulsive are commonly described as hot-headed, rash, unpredictable, and unstable. This instability often causes people to struggle with feelings of inadequacy that manifests with unstable emotions, unstable behaviors, and unstable relationships. So impulsive learners are bold in character and prefer fluency than accuracy. They are more likely to take risks and make more mistakes compared to reflective learners. They prefer to learn more thoroughly than more precisely. So impulsive learners are those who tend to act without thinking through the consequences of their actions. There are some examples of impulsive behavior in the classrooms. First is shouting, singing, or talking loudly during class, not paying attention to the lesson, not cooperating in activities, fighting with classmates. So during class, they are blurting out answers, doing inappropriate things for attention, frequent interrupting, act without thinking, and they want a desired immediate reward. Another is fidgeting with or tapping hands or feet, squirming in the seat, and difficulty staying seated in the classroom or in other situations. I have here some strategies in working with impulsive children. First is you have to monitor students to identify impulsive ones. Talk with them about taking their time to think through their answer before they respond. So encourage them to label new info as they work. You have to model the reflective style as a teacher. Guide students in creating their own plan to reduce impulsivity. Compliment students when they are more reflective. It is important to note that impulsivity is not always a negative trait. So in fact, it can be a positive trait in certain situations. For instance, being impulsive can help you take risks and seize opportunities that you might otherwise miss. However, it is important to learn how to manage impulsivity so that it doesn't lead to negative outcomes. But I believe that with the right information and great tips from professionals, you can effectively manage students' impulsive behaviors inside the classroom. So in conclusion of the two learning styles, reflective students surpass impulsive students at remembering structured information, reading comprehension, problem solving and decision making, goal setting, and setting high standards for performance. So reflective style is characterized by a tendency to consider and deliberate over alternative solutions to problems, while impulsive style is characterized by a tendency to respond spontaneously without deliberation, especially in situations of uncertainty. Again, people who are slower than the median but score more accurately than the median are considered to be reflective, while those who test faster than the median but score below the median of accuracy are impulsive. So again, no child is ever a lost cause. With patience, understanding, and genuine concern, you can help your student channel energy into more positive behaviors. So that's all for my report, and thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from it. A good day and keep safe, everyone.